Good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Bitbender Brink from Gala Games, and I'm here with some wonderful people from Opera and from Mercy Corps Ventures, as well as Mr. Michael McCarthy, the game director of Miranda's. We've got some really exciting stuff to talk to you guys about today, but before we jump into that, I'm just going to drop into the Discord really quick and make sure that everybody is hearing us okay. How's audio, guys? Are we doing good this morning?
Yes.
Beautiful. Wonderful. It looks like the people in Discord are hearing us as well. I'm just going to go ahead and post a little tiny announcement that says we are live, just because people like that. But as I do that, how are you guys doing today?
Doing good, Jason. Yeah, great to be here. We're very excited. So yeah, super
I'm,
pumped about being on this
I'm going
AMA.
to remove my pin. There you go. Now everybody can see you. Do you guys want to do a little round of introductions before we get started?
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about yourself, Alpin.
Yeah, happy to. So I joined Mercy Corps Ventures essentially to help us launch this new initiative around using crypto and blockchain for impact. I worked previously for about 5 years in the blockchain and crypto space and helped build new kinds of insurance policies that couldn't be tampered with for smallholder farmers, for people affected by hurricanes, things like that, and have been helping to advise companies in the sector. And I joined Mercy Corps Ventures about a year and a half ago, and we've been testing different solutions out in the field with different populations to open up possibilities around financial inclusion, using crypto wallets, basically improving ways that people earn money, spend their money, save their money, and have learned quite a bit and are really excited about jumping into this opportunity with you guys.
That's fantastic. Financial inclusion's always been one of those things that I've found to be really incredibly important. I think that with the global economy shifting as it is, finding new ways to really bring people to the table is super important. How about you, Lou? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Lu. Actually, I just joined in Opera for less than 3 months. So previously, I worked in a blockchain company, which name is Wanxiang Blockchain. It's a leading player in blockchain area, especially in China. And I was mainly responsible for the blockchain consortium products and systems. So I'm really attracted by Opera's gaming product system. I think we already have a very perfect positioning in the future metaverse domain and this kind of new digital transformation areas. So I feel excited joining the new team.
Wonderful. And Susie, you are standing in today for Temok. You are the one that I have spoken to the most out of, well, other than McCarthy, because I talk to him every day. But close second, a close second is you, Susie Bat of Opera. How are you
Hi
today?
there. Hey, I'm so excited. So, thanks for having me, and thanks to all of you. It's been like just a marriage of joy so far. Excited because this project marries social impact with crypto and gaming, three loves of mine. My background for the past 20 years has been social impact work, mostly with USAID and the World Bank. And then 4 years ago, I moved into the blockchain space with Consensus, working on Academy and all things crypto, and then moved over to Opera Browser, where I currently am the global community lead for crypto and work with Lou on gaming and NFTs. So this was like an amazing opportunity to work with Alpin and you know Mercy Corps Ventures, which is a beloved organization all around the world, and then learned so much about storytelling and gaming economics with Gala Games. So really as excited as the audience is.
Well, we're absolutely delighted to have you here as well. And, you know, like I said, we have been on a lot of different calls together as we've been working to put this together. And you and I have always gotten along very well. So, welcome. Very happy to have you here. Now, let's go to Mr. Michael McCarthy. A
Hi.
lot of you know Michael. He is in a new location. He does not have the dad poster on the wall behind him anymore. We're gonna have to get that blown up and done as a mural. But would you, for the
I
people
was
who
I
are
was in the
new,
garage before. I was in the garage.
this is an
Now
upgrade.
now I'm getting soft and I'm just in an air conditioned room.
Oh,
I'm gonna
air
have
You
to
got
stay
conditioning.
hard.
upgraded.
I'm gonna have to stay hard, man.
Air conditioning. You're gonna have to. What was it? Seneca that wrote that you're supposed to at least one night a week sleep on the floor and eat out of your dog's dish so that you can stay real.
Uh,
You know, might have to pick that up. Would you like to introduce yourself for the new people who are listening? Because I know we got a lot of people from a lot of different communities on this right now. So
sure, sure.
let's hear about you, Mr. McCarthy.
I'm a studio director here at Gala Games. My primary focus, day in day out, is creating a virtual world that we're calling Mirandus. Uh, it's a really exciting project. It's a blend between, I'd say, kind of a virtual world that you can live in and craft in and meet your friends in and play games in the tavern, and a traditional MMO fantasy. So we're taking the spirit of, what if we could just teleport you to a medieval universe that's full of magic and wonder? What would it be like to walk around those forests or to hang out with people in town? So it's really ambitious. It's a ton of fun, and I think it'll feel and play very differently than other MMOs out there. Um, one of the things that I'm incredibly excited about is this partnership, and I think anytime, and I think our players are looking for this too. Anytime that we can have a tremendous amount of fun engaging in a world or playing in a game, and inside that virtual world, we're having a positive impact in the real world. Um, it's just a perfect marriage and it's a perfect blend, and I think it really aligns with our players' values and ideals.
Absolutely.
That's my word.
That's your word. Those are some good words, man. You have good words. So I'm going to go ahead and just kick this off. Now, I just want to let the community know we will be getting to Discord for questions here in a little bit, but we're going to just kind of talk a little bit about our work together and what we're doing before we get to that. So make sure that you hang on to your questions. I'm going to be taking questions from the Gala Gold room because otherwise I know we'll get buried. So go ahead, and if you are a member of Gala Gold, get ready to post those questions in Discord. But first let's go to you, Susie. What is it that inspired the creation of this project, this shared project together?
Well, the crypto space is nascent, but Opera's presence in crypto is not. It's well known as a browser with about 400 million users worldwide, but we've had an embedded crypto wallet in the browser for about 3 years now. And it offers convenience for an easy onboard to millions of people around the world with a mobile phone, which is most of the population. And we saw the NFT marketplace, which we have created a strategy around, a business line around, as a way to onboard the masses to crypto. And the notion of tokenizing things that you value really resonated with our company and also just us as individuals, whether it's something that you're passionate about, like music or art or gaming, or more tangible things like tickets, houses or what have you. But the fact that it's immutable, it's transferable, you can liquidate it. We wanted to experiment and with this marketplace and thought that our current partnership with Gala Games, with you guys, was a no-brainer place to start. And then we met Alpin at Bitcoin Miami with all the altcoin conferences and the NFT marketplace panels, which Near Protocol set up. And we were like, oh my God, let's figure out how we can work together. And Temek, masterfully wove that in. And so I'll let Alpin, describe the details, but like, we just wanted to work together. So
Yeah,
we just
no, for
figured out a
sure.
way to do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's Temuk is fantastic, and I hope that everybody listening to this has an opportunity to hear him at some point in time as well, because he's got a very good way of weaving things together. So, would you like to expand on that a little bit, Alpin?
Yeah, happy to. Yeah, thanks, Susie. Yeah, I mean, just at a high level, like our larger goal here is, I think, very much aligned with what Gala Games is doing in this Mirandus project and Opera in terms of what they've been able to build and serve out to hundreds of millions of people, which is supporting user-centric platforms that increase community ownership. And we essentially have a vision, which is that we think we can reimagine, and we need to reimagine the financial system using these new kinds of technologies, like decentralized technologies. What we're seeing is that a lot of people, this is on the order of, some people like on the lower end say it's around 1.5 billion, but upwards of maybe even 2.5 billion people are underbanked or just can't access financial tools. And those are people like refugees in Uganda and Jordan, with whom we've worked for many, many years, were excluded for various reasons. And we want to see how they can have just as much power and access, giving them the tools to grow their own assets and revenue and wealth in the same footing as someone like you or any of us here. And just for a quick background, basically Mercy Corps works in over 40 countries around the world. So these are places like Afghanistan, Colombia, from Nepal to Nigeria. And our overarching mission is to help people build what we say is basically more secure, productive, and just communities. But honestly, we work in very, very tough circumstances for a lot of the folks in our field team. So we have about 6,000 team members working side by side with people facing either extreme poverty or working through the aftermath of a disaster. And the entity that I'm a part of is called Mercy Corps Ventures. So that's the impact venture arm of Mercy Corps, where we're trying to take new technologies, investing in new kinds of companies that can help improve financial inclusion at a systemic and scalable level. And honestly, we haven't seen something that we've identified, I guess, as transformative, something like cryptocurrencies and blockchains, which create these new pathways for people to relate peer to peer. And obviously, there's mobile money, which has existed for quite some time. But these new systems are not just owned by like one company necessarily, right? You have like new forms, ecosystems that can be formed globally, and yeah, I mean, I guess, some of the key problems that we're trying to solve, just to get into it a little bit, is that we've noticed that essentially the kinds of people that we work with are, quite widespread. So we work with smallholder farmers. They make up a large percentage of the population in the world, many of them working in very remote circumstances that don't have access to bank accounts, for example. And with their mobile phone could have access to new kinds of payment mechanisms and platforms. And then there's like refugees that are fleeing from various types of conflict or climate change, increasingly new forms of disasters. And many of them just don't have like some of the basic requirements or like there's various forms of gatekeepers and just mechanisms of our legacy systems that just make it impossible for them to even make what we would think of as like an easy payment or just save money in a digital way, or even access a loan because they don't have, a traditional form of identification or something like that. And what we're finding so far is that we've been able to actually prove out that some of these technologies make a substantial difference. So just as a quick example is we're working with Venezuelan refugees right now who've essentially fled to Colombia, and they don't have access to financial services where they are. And this is pretty typical of a lot of refugees. When they move to another country, they're essentially informal, right? They don't have access to an identification document. They can't open an account. And so when these people want to send money or, for example, back to their family, there's no formal way. There's no secure way for them to do that without going through the black market, without going and paying really large amounts of money and not knowing if it even gets to their family members. And with our program, which is called FinX, which is dedicated to the use of crypto and blockchain for financial inclusion, we've been able to test out at scale. So we're actually currently in the process of helping these people, over 3,000 now, access a digital payment mechanism using crypto to move money from Colombia into Venezuela, basically minimal cost, and get it there in real time so that they can basically help the people that, that are still there in Venezuela. And essentially we're running several of these trials and then helping companies scale up through our investment fund. So that's a huge part of why we're really excited about being a part of this.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of people don't know, but that's kind of how I ended up in the blockchain space as well. As I started looking at things from the perspective of, how do we create something to fix some of the economic challenges that we as a species are now facing, as technology advances and, as things get, inclusion becomes more and more important and exclusion becomes more common, and I think that we're uniquely positioned with tools to, kind of make it a little bit easier for us to help people. And I think that the play to earn ecosystems that are starting to show up in gaming and that we are quite dedicated to creating and promoting will really play a big role in this going forward into the future. I mean, you are aware obviously of how small of an amount of money can make a transformative difference in the lives of somebody who is marginalized. I think Guy Standing called them the precariat, right? So, what do we need to do as an industry to create the ecosystems necessary to provide a way for people to earn and gain a degree of financial stability via gaming, which is something that is completely natural. Everyone does it. It is play is, one of the very central human tenets. And so I think that advancing that is something that behooves us all. Let's talk to Michael just a little bit here.
Hi.
What is it about all of this that excites you and that you have that you can say that the players can look forward to in this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, for starters, I suppose we should probably say what the hell it is that I'm talking about, shouldn't we? With
we have a thing.
We have a thing. There's a thing that we're supposed to talk about. The thing. You remember the thing, Michael?
There is a thing.
There's a thing, and so we have a building in Mirandus called the Sanctuary, and what the Sanctuary does is it allows players who are new to the game to drop in and get something to kind of help them get started in the game. One of the criticisms that has been thrown around a little bit is like, oh my God, this game is completely only, pay to play. Like you have to buy all this stuff or it's not even worth it, that sort of thing. The Sanctuary demonstrates that is in fact not the case. And what the Sanctuary does, it allows players to get a start in the game so that they can begin begin crafting, begin exploring, begin building, and creating a stream of revenue that goes back to the sanctuary building, some of which will go to one of the approved charities that the sanctuary owner has the ability then to choose. The proceeds of these, they're going to be going on auction on OpenSea, spaced out towards the end of this month, beginning of the month after. And people will be able to bid on them on OpenSea, own these, and the proceeds of that will go straight to Mercy Corps Ventures to support their mission. That's the thing. That's the thing that we're talking about. And we posted a blog about that on blog.gala.games. I will make sure that I link to it. But there's the thing. Now I'll hand it over to you in the attic, Mr. McCarthy.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think what we're talking about is creating a central place for help. Everyone needs help. I would not be here today without an unbelievable amount of help along the way. And I love the idea, and I think our players love the idea that they could go to the sanctuary and know that they're having a direct impact on other people in the world, a portal, if you will, to help. So that, I think that's really cool and that's really meaningful. I think the sanctuary itself can help people outside of the world of Mirandus, and I love the idea that there is a mechanic by which you can help new players inside the world of Mirandus get their footing as well. So I think it's really important in games to create platforms and center points that have a functional meaning. A forge is where you might, create a sword. But where do I go to help? And where do I go to get a leg up in the world? And so I see the sanctuary as the center point for that. And I think, if there's one thing we do, it's if we can move the world forward or actually help people through playing a game that we all love, to me, that's incredibly exciting. The thought that you could have something valuable in the game, and maybe you have two of them, you could drop one off at the sanctuary, and that item could mean the world to somebody. And I feel like what we're doing and what's so incredible about this is the blockchain is enabling connections between people that never had connections before. There is somebody somewhere who might be willing to pay an unbelievable amount of money for something to somebody somewhere else. It's like connecting people from different parts of the world together creates opportunities. And we've seen that in Townstar quite a bit, Jace, already. The stories that are coming out from it. It's a bit of a revolution. And something that I don't think I was aware of when I started here at Gala, what this all could mean. I feel like I'm still learning what all of this can mean over time and the power of it all. So I like the sanctuary because it's the center point of giving and help. And I think we need that focus in the world of Mirandus, and I think players will love having that as well.
Jason, can I add something?
Yes, of course.
It's so inspiring. We originally talked about, this group talked about doing an academy, but we were influenced by you, McCarthy, and Jason to do the sanctuary instead, which I think is a better metaphor really of life, right? It's like all things we respect and value. It's like be a good citizen, help others, perpetuate good karma, have fun, meet good people, do no harm. It's borderless. Like it was like, oh yeah, for sure. Like the sanctuary makes total sense. And then with Mercy Corps' mission, it was just like, it just all like weaved so tightly together, and you enabling and blockchain technology, not just crypto, but like the technology itself empowering the game and the NFT platform for this narrative is profound for me.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. Hold on, let me pin myself so that everyone can see me, so they know that I'm talking. People in the chat are like, "Why can't we see you, Jason? Just seeing these other people." So yeah, no, I think that's you're absolutely right on there, and I think that one of the things, and actually, I come to think of it, I think we have a cool art release that we'll be doing a little bit later today. I think after this, where we'll include a link to this video so that people can watch it, and they'll also be able to see what the actual sanctuary building will look like. And I'd like to go ahead and see if McCarthy wants to talk a little bit about the symbol that is being used on the sign there.
Oh, I mean,
I'll talk about it if you want, man. I just thought I'd throw it to you.
I mean, I could go deep on this, Jace. I mean, the symbol generally is a bit of a heart and is a bit of an homage to opera, and mostly, I think, for people all over the world that recognize basic icons, we wanted to incorporate the heart into it because this is a place for love and a place to give. And in other games that I've worked on, guys, I mean, players are unbelievably generous. And when the flare gets popped and it's like, hey guys, somebody needs help somewhere, the fact that they can just easily approach a portal or interface of some kind and benefit somebody or an initiative somewhere in the world that's going to help is incredibly appealing to them. And I think it's incredibly appealing to everyone. We all want to help. And it's like, where do we devote our energy? Where do we put our time? What do we focus on? What's going to have the right impact? So, we're kind of focusing on using the heart, generally as an icon, I think with an homage to opera and what it is they're trying to do and build.
I love that. One of my first gaming experiences, my first online gaming experiences, was like way back in the day, connecting via BattleNet, playing the original Diablo and having, someone show up and say, "Oh, you don't have any cool stuff. Here, let me help you out. You look like you're new." And then they gave me a bunch of cool stuff. Although my like next gaming experience was somebody saying they were going to do that and then ganking me into a dungeon and killing me and taking all my stuff. But that is gaming. You can't escape from some of that. Okay, so before we go to questions from the community really quick, and I definitely want to get there because I'm seeing Discord, it's going crazy with questions. What do you think, Lou? Are NFTs just a craze?
Yeah, I think obviously NFT is becoming a very hot topic or even a buzzword, especially since last September when Christie auctioned several digital arts for a big amount of money. It actually draws a lot of attention from massive media, especially among people who even didn't know previously about anything about the crypto product or even blockchain technology. So this really breaks through. This is really a breakthrough for the NFTs. I think the main reason is because that we are leading to a digital transformation year. So at the beginning of this digital transformation time, what we usually do is to mapping all our assets to the blockchain system. This is actually where NFT is playing a key role as a bridge between real world and on-chain ecosystem. Literally, we can tokenize anything we own, even ourselves as human in the virtual residence with all different types and definitions of NFTs. This world is usually what we call metaverse, at least from my understanding. That's the definition of the metaverse. It's like a newly built virtual living space for us, for all of us. So I was thinking, if we were given a second chance to build a new world, what shall we do? I think for it enriches our experience, changing our lifestyles. But I think more than that, what's more important is that with the new technology, it really gives us more possibilities. We can build a better world there. So I think as we did with Gala in the Mirandas, we launched this sanctuary. That's how we advocate for people to be more caring and with equality and mutual benefit. So we can bring the more positive societal impact to create some awareness, advocate good behaviors, and support poverty reductions, etc. And just what we are going to do. So let's stay tuned to see how the Mirandas is going to live. And I think we can always see here in the game that it will prove to us that NFT is also perfect value capturing utility. So once you play, you earn credits and you can contribute to the community. With this ecosystem designed, we get funded, we get paid, and the money goes to the people who is in certain kind of needs. So I think this is really advocate a good concept. It's like we do the NFTs for the good mindset. We create the awareness of creating a better world to build a new governance rules to bring more good behaviors to the virtual residents. So that's really what NFTs could help us to do in the virtual world. Yeah.
I love it.
I like the idea that there's a competition between the sanctuary owners. You know, what if we were able to track what the most generous sanctuary was and has had the largest impact on the world? And there was just this standing competition of the sanctuary owners to see who could get the most out there to the people that need it the most.
Some massive karma points going on there. I'm going to switch our view here to a gallery view really quick, and that'll make it easier for everybody to see all of us. And then I'm going to start, unless anyone has any further questions. Anyone want to say anything else before we go to further questions from the community?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to mention that the NFT auction and minting will be our desire and is that they are carbon neutral.
Yes,
and that's
absolutely.
something that we're very, very proud of too in the social impact piece.
Yes, no, for sure. That's the carbon neutrality is something that at Gala Games we're very dedicated to, and this is, you know, right now we do this via working with One Tree Planted and other organizations, but as Gala Chain itself spins up, that will be a fully carbon neutral chain, and then once you tie that in with everything else we're doing, everything is going to be extremely carbon negative, which is something that we're very proud of. And I want to just bounce to the Discord really quick. Do you guys mind? I want to deal with some of these questions that people have.
Sure.
So people have some questions, and then they have some comments that I think are pretty cool. Somebody here, Forehead, says Sanctuary Guild when. And you guys all know in the crypto space, when is a big thing. But one of the things that I wanted to point out here is that if you are a guild, okay, and you are attempting to bring members into your guild, a very good place and a very good way to do that might be through a sanctuary, because this is going to be the place that everyone stops the moment that they enter the game for the first time. So if you're trying to get your guild out there and get noticed, having a sanctuary would be a very good way to do that. Okay.
Sometimes when you come into a game, it can be, it can be a little overwhelming, and if you start with friends, that feels a little different. But sometimes if you just come into it by yourself, the sanctuary being the obvious place for you to start, I think that's really cool. And yeah, guild owners, it's a great recruiting spot for sure.
Yeah, for absolute sure.
And I think honestly, like, let's say one of the sanctuaries was the givingest sanctuary that exists. I think they'd get more traffic.
The givingest,
The
absolutely, I
mostest
think.
givingestness.
Well, I mean, I think that as you would enter the game, okay, part of the function of the sanctuary, and not to get too far into the weeds and the mechanics, even though I've got people screaming in the Discord, explain everything. How does everything work? Tell me all the details, please. Now I must know everything. Um, so one of the things that we are intending with this, and I'm going to say this because I am not the game director, and then Michael can yell at me later and say, "Why did you say that thing?"
I'll yell at you on the
So,
call.
so the intention behind this, okay, is that you stop in at a sanctuary, okay, and bits and pieces of this are still being refined. So some of this may shift over time, but you stop in at a sanctuary. You say, "Hey, sanctuary guy, thank you very much for giving me some of these things," and part of what is gathered by me as someone who has benefited from the charity of this sanctuary will go back to the sanctuary for a certain period of time, okay, a certain time interval. That may be fixed, it may be flexible. The sanctuary operator may be able to choose that. But that is the way that material finds its way back to the sanctuary, okay, which can then be given back out. So basically, by using the sanctuary and then going forth into the world and doing things, you're sending material back to the sanctuary, some of which the sanctuary operator will then pass on as charity to their chosen organization, some of which gets passed to the players. But that's basically how this works, and then this cycle can continue and build momentum as it goes forward. The idea is to create an ecosystem that is not just play for fun. Okay, games for a long time have been play for fun. If you go back to the origin of gaming, it's always play for fun, right? Then it kind of became this sort of like pay to win, sort of free to play / pay to win ecosystem. Now we're pushing this into a play to earn space, and the end state that we're looking for is that people will be able to play to give, and the sanctuary is going to form a central part of that. And play to give, I don't think anyone's ever said that before.
Mic drop.
Yeah,
play
seriously,
to give.
boom, play to give.
Hashtag.
That's seriously, right?
Play to give, dude.
Okay, actually, play to give. Everyone who's on Twitter who is watching this now, share a link of this video right now to everybody that you can. Tag at least a couple people. Use the hashtag play to give. Somebody who does that will get an exemplar. And I think I even might have a cooler exemplar than normal for somebody who does that. And Carrie, please note that down. We will make sure that gets taken care of. So anyway, yeah, that's one of the things that I wanted to say about that. Does that answer the questions? There were like 4 questions about that I wanted to ask.
Yeah, everyone's I mean, and everything, we are building the world of Mirandus and have to lock down a lot of these systems, guys. But the intention is that the sanctuary has kind of a dual function. One is a direct portal to charitable organizations, and one is, something you can operate and own and run that helps the players inside the world of Mirandus as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's incredible. I mean, there's so much alignment and kind of overlap between these ideas of these online gaming communities and like a humanitarian ethos of like being able to be like side by side with people when they need help, right? Just having something there that when they need it, and it being something that everybody just sort of realizes is important to all of us. So I really like the idea of play to give. It kind of reminds me of a lot of what the impact space is about, which is people really using the grit and kind of in some senses like a competitive spirit of really trying to grow your ecosystems, but all to ultimately benefit people and have an impact on the world. And I think that this is an amazing turn, like you just said, from the pay to play to play to earn, which we've been seeing just amazing benefits from, and increasing interest from a lot of the people that and the youth that we're working with who live often. I mean, as many of you are probably aware, but large populations in places like, for example, Kenya are primarily youth. It's like upwards of 60% or so, and unfortunately, a lot of them are facing high levels of unemployment because of COVID. Any organization doing work in both countries like the United States, or in places like Kenya, Rwanda, et cetera, are dealing with COVID related impacts right now and on the economies. And you're just seeing like a substantial decrease in live in-person job opportunities and income opportunities. And we're seeing the rise and it's like coming to bear that having opportunities where it doesn't matter where you live, that if you have a phone, if you have a device, if you have like an internet connected system, you can actually plug into all kinds of opportunities, meet with people. We just actually finished up a test working with a company called Cello to allow people who were under lockdown in Kenya basically earn money doing micro work tasks and get paid instantaneously. I know that Cello, the Cello stablecoin basically moves across crypto wallets, and now it's actually accessible on Opera. And so we're looking to roll that out because it's incredible to hear what these people had to say about how easy it was to use that and how different it was from what they thought, basically that they weren't going to be able to earn enough money to get food on the table, et cetera. So I think that these systems are really amazing.
I absolutely agree, and I love seeing. It's one of the things that I love about the blockchain space is how amazingly collaborative it can be. There doesn't necessarily have to be this sort of tribalism, territorialism. It's like, hey, look at the cool thing they're doing. We should do cool things too, and then everyone does good stuff. I got a question here from Groove. Now, for those of you who don't know or who are new to this, Groove is one of the awesome members of our community who has the tendency to ask very hard-hitting, very detailed, very smart questions. And so, yay, Groove. He says, it was mentioned that a portion of the Grand Sanctuary proceeds will become charitable gifts. Is this expected to be an on-chain activity? And if not, how will interested parties be able to verify the use of these contributions? I think that that's a really interesting question. And obviously, there is a point at which contributions go off-chain. But what I would expect to see happen is that these sanctuaries will come with certain reporting mechanisms that are able to show what's going on and where that funding is going. And, I'm sure that at a certain point in time, some sort of receipt for funding could be supplied by, the organizations to which these funds are being donated to. And then that itself could go on chain to show the parity there. So that's definitely a thing that we would want to have happen. It's not one of those things like, oh, let's just, send something out there and see what happens. We want to really.
That's a really great call out.
Yeah, for sure. Groove always has those.
And I think the blockchain is, helping provide those, like the proof. It helps provide the proof that something has gone down a particular channel and ended up in a certain place.
Yeah.
I think official, official wallets from charitable organizations that people can look at and track would be incredibly cool.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's actually a typical case where we can apply blockchain technologies because it's very good to trace the money flow, so we can guarantee that at the end the money goes to the people who really need that. So I think that could be our future business case. We can build or evolve our product. So that's very, very smart a hint for us. It's definitely value to evolve our product for that.
Mm.
Yeah, I appreciate that question from the, sorry, just wanted
No,
to add,
please.
yeah, I really appreciate that comment or the question. I think that that's exactly the direction we're moving in. And actually Mercy Corps published a paper, I think it was in 2018 or late 2017, called Revolution and Trust, which was premised on this idea, which is that aid needs to operate more and more on chain, so that people can see where the money's going, how it's getting there, and automate some of the things that otherwise make it either more costly or take more time. And I think that improves trust across the board, right, for the givers and for the receivers and for the entities that are involved in between. And I think that would be wonderful to work together on something like that, that players could see.
I would absolutely love that. Got a question here, and I guess this would be pretty directly towards you, Alpen. This is from our Discord, from the Gala Gold community, from Ed777. Will the funds from the sale of the Sanctuaries go to a specific project in Mercy Corps Ventures, or is it just general funding? Or, what are you guys working on right now? However you want to answer that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I didn't necessarily specify it, I think at the beginning, but so we initiated this new program called FinX. So you can find out more at finx.vc, so finx.vc, and it's essentially an entire initiative dedicated to the use of crypto and blockchain for financial inclusion. So that money goes to a couple different things, but the idea is that the proceeds would just go to that initiative. And then the money is essentially spent to test out one core thing, I would say above all, which is that we think that these technologies will form the basis of a new transformational financial system that is more equitable. But we also realize that we need to understand more of how to make sure you can actually onboard people that are currently unbanked, because it's not just a straightforward solution. There's a couple of things that we need to think through. And then we also realize that there's a lot of risk if the people that are the most vulnerable in society aren't, if their needs are not taken into consideration as these technologies are developing. So we've designed essentially these programs in a bunch of different countries, including Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, Nigeria, Lebanon very soon, Colombia, Venezuela. We'll be expanding it, like I said, to the footprint of what Mercy Corps is right now, and then hopefully beyond, to test out these solutions and then provide these tools to people, right, so that they can have these bare bones capabilities, for instance, with access to crypto wallets and things like that. And then we're also using the funds to improve aid distribution. So currently, most of the money that Mercy Corps, agencies like Mercy Corps that operate in a lot of environments, use this money to directly give money to people in need, right? So these may be a refugee camp in Uganda where people have fled from Sudan, and they don't really have any other means of income or to pay for their basic needs. So Mercy Corps is taking funds to then give directly to these people, but getting money from an account sitting somewhere, let's say in the United States, and getting into local currency, in Uganda takes a lot of steps and requires a bunch of different operations. And so we're looking to use this funding to get pretty much as possible of that the initial amount of money directly to these people in as fast a time as possible. So we're basically using some of the money for directly giving to people in the form of digital currencies. Sometimes they're in the form of kind of like a tokenized, a voucher that they can use to buy things, and then improving the system so that both Mercy Corps but aid organizations generally that are our peers essentially can use to improve our systems.
I wanted to add also, this means of generating income, like #PlayToGive, plus the technology, whether it's Opera browsers on mobile, GX, desktop, plus on the ground insights, like from Mercy Core Venture for end users, equals like this decentralized finance, or what I've recently heard coined MetaFi. So it's the metaverse financial system that's really perpetuating this mass adoption. It may continue to be DeFi and NFTs, but holistically, we are calling it, MetaFi.
Yeah, I love that. I really, Alpen, I'm gonna need to get you my my paper that I wrote. Like literally my first major entry into the crypto space was writing a whole paper for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation on that specific topic of how to fix the foreign aid pipeline. And because I did a little bit of aid work in Haiti, and I experienced firsthand how hard it is to get aid to people who need it most without having bits and pieces shaved off the top by every single hand it goes past. So yeah, that's a huge issue, and I'm very happy that you guys are doing this. I'd also like to just share a tiny bit of news here. I just got a message from Eric Schiermeyer, our CEO. He says that Gala Games will pledge $250,000 in Gala to Mercy Core Ventures to support what you guys are working on.
Wow, thank you so much.
So he just sent me that message
Great.
right now. So I think that is a good thing, and we're very happy to help support everything that you guys are doing. And know that our community is as well. So we've got that ready, and we'll sort out the logistics for that later. But
and I think our community too, guys, is we're all on the tip of the spear of blockchain, cryptocurrency, blockchain, NFTs. We count on our community to help us figure out how best to use this technology. Whatever answers that we're going to have now, there's going to be better answers in 3 months. It's like we're all here first, and I think this is going to spread like wildfire, and through everyone digging in, the best answers and the best way for it all to work and function are going to come to light. So it'll be cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. Yeah, thank you, Jason, for announcing that, and thanks to the CEO. I think, yeah, we feel really inspired by working with companies like yours and like Opera, just because I think our philosophy, our worldviews are very much aligned. And I think even though we're operating kind of in different ways in these spaces, I think there's a lot of good we can do together. And so, yeah, very much appreciative of that. And I think that, just as what Michael just mentioned around communities, that's basically the bread and butter of like any aid work, right? It's like you're trying to catalyze and help people like where they're in need, but really the big thing is empowering communities, local communities, and getting them, from my perspective, getting them to plug into some of these technologies as well, which is a core part of Finex, is to make sure that people have these tools so that they can be part of these gaming communities, part of these NFT communities, understand what these technologies are and what they could do for them. Because I think that in the coming years, as Lou just mentioned, with the metaverse, or what Susie just either coined or just introduced to us here, MetaFi, I think that this is extremely fertile ground for us to think about how do you actually make impact at scale in a way that's borderless, and that gives as much of the benefit to an agency to people, right? And I think, I'm happy to be really excited to be working with you guys on this. And I love the input that we're getting from the people on Discord, because that also motivates us to like keep improving, and gives us new ideas to be working on.
Ben, can I put you on the spot? I had there's like a little blockchain club here in Salem, Oregon I showed up to, and I talked to a guy named Cranty. He's from Nepal. Hey, Kranti. Um, we had a really wonderful conversation, and he is absolutely interested in these topics to his bones. He's over here in the United States, and from Nepal, and actually at Harvard, and trying to work on diplomacy and things like that to help kind of get the word out and make change in his country. I'm going to put you on the spot here a little bit. In the spirit of blockchain, is there a way that you could share the answers that you're learning at Mercy Corp as you go through these initiatives? If you find out a recipe that's incredibly successful to onboard people in countries that need a wallet, and to um, any kind of answers. We in the blockchain community, I think, in the game development community, are so happy to share what it is we're learning here. Is there a way that you could track or centralize what you're learning, and get that out to other organizations? And I know Cranty would be super, like, he'd love to hear anything.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it just happens to be that I'm also in Oregon, so would love to meet up with Granty,
Cool.
and learn more about his work. Yeah, I love the idea, and I would say that we're like 110% aligned there, because I think there's no benefit in us doing it in a silo and not sharing what we're learning, the pros and the difficulties and challenges. And first and foremost, the reality is that I make this claim all the time that crypto is not global. You have to make it global, right? You have to make it accessible. It's not inherently accessible, even though people say it is.
Very
right?
true.
And I think we're all about figuring that out, because I think whether sometimes I call it last mile crypto or whatever you want to call it, there has to be the work done to figuring out how people can access these technologies. And we actually learned quite a bit from the first initiative we did in Kenya around onboarding people onto crypto wallets. And obviously there are different kinds of crypto wallets. There's different pathways. So it might be, the learnings might be a little bit specific to that, but we are very much in the spirit of going to share every single thing that we learn. And to those that are interested in more detail, they're always welcome to reach out to us for more granular information. But when we finish we basically call them pilots, but when we finish a pilot, we collect a lot of data, both during, and then we do a bunch of surveying afterwards to really understand from the people's perspective what they experienced, whether it was really easier or not, what they recommended to other people, how did this actually benefit them in concrete terms. And then we draft out a report that puts it out there, and it's accessible to anybody on the internet to read it, and you can share it. So the first one that we finished was about 2 months ago, and we're just wrapping up the analysis. So we will have a report out that shares like direct user feedback. We also have interviews with people, video interviews with people that went through the whole process, and you can see that as well. But yeah, happy to share as much as we can as we pull that information. And just given that comment, I think we can also innovate a little bit more about how we can share things maybe a little sooner, as opposed to waiting till the very end. But thanks for putting me on the spot.
That's really cool, man.
That's super
cool. That'll
cool.
be neat to see. Yeah.
And I'd also say, like, this initiative is like open source, like, meaning we want others to fork and iterate and improve. It's like a call to action for all. So Discord, however, our users, our recipients, our players want to communicate. I mean, there's so many ways, but like, great, like it's a call to action for everyone on all fronts.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that working together we can accomplish so much more than we can working individually. And I think that Alpen having access to that data would be super helpful for us, because one of the biggest challenges that we always have, and it's something that other people are tackling but not quite as directly as we are, is creating that fixing that onboarding flow, because crypto has always been profoundly unfriendly. it is just such a difficult, friction-filled process to get involved in for most people. And I think that Opera with their wallet has done a great service in making things easier, and I think that that's going to continue to get better. And on our side, you know, people play games, and when a person plays a game, it should be an easy thing. Like, you shouldn't have to work to play a game. And in the blockchain space, this is obviously something, and McCarthy can speak to this as well. We're working very, very hard to make it easy for people to come into the blockchain space. And so having access to a broader pool of data would be always helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, definitely happy to feed into that. And, when ideas come from the community, I think we're enriched by that. So ideas that people have, we're really welcome to hear. I think another area that we're exploring, just to give you a little bit of a preview on where we're headed with Finex. So we're conducting these pilots where we're helping people onboard onto crypto platforms and DeFi tools and things like that. We're actually running a pilot that helps informal merchants access services on DeFi. So they don't have a bank account, they're not able to open a bank account, but they're actually able to earn interest and manage their business using DeFi tools, which is pretty cool. And the platform we're working with has 20,000 merchants in it. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what comes of that, and happy to share that. But one of the other things that we're looking at is getting to what you just said, Jason, which is, we see a lot of potential in these technologies, but we think that there needs to be more investment in education and in localization, like in terms of languages, in terms of just local, like people that they know and trust, talking about these tools, helping with training, helping with answering questions. And so that's an area that we're going to have more to announce soon, but we're working with different DeFi protocols right now to see if we can put together a fund to do that kind of work in different parts of the world, right? Because we like I said, I think we need to make this global, and part of that is the education effort, I think.
For sure. Well, guys, I know that all of us, the five of us, could sit here and talk all day long without any sort of difficulty, and we could probably do so in a fairly entertaining fashion. I know we have a lot of stories that we could all share. And I know that if we include the community here, we could do this for literally days on end until we're all caffeine-addled husks, getting ready to collapse out of our chairs. But we all unfortunately have things to do. So would anyone like to share any closing thoughts, not clothing thoughts, different thing, before we close up for today?
I think we
I mean,
are.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, I think we already picked the keyword, play to give, right? That's a good concept.
Love it.
I would also add, Mirandus is, will be launching, but in advance of the launch, please check out Gala Games in the Opera wallet, and get ready.
There you go. Did you guys catch that? Did you catch that? Is that good enough for you, Gala Gold community? So that means that Gala as a project will be surfaced to your crypto wallet users for your browser, which has 400 million users right now currently.
So whether you're on desktop, Android or iOS, you can access Gala Games in the App Store.
There you go. There's something interesting for people.
Yeah.
How about you,
Make it
Alvin?
easy for you.
We appreciate that. That makes it easy. That will help this entire play to give and play to earn ecosystem grow, I think, by having people have some place that they can access that on their phone in a easy way. I think that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, thanks to the community for the questions. I think we're going to take a lot of that on board around transparency, for instance, and yeah, excited to join this journey around the play to give and what we can make together. And obviously, I want to thank Gala Games for announcing that gift to us, because I think that definitely says a lot about where you guys are at. And again, really happy to be a part of this collaboration and looking forward to what we can make together.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Alpen and everyone. I really appreciate you all taking the time to speak with us today, and thank you to the community for following along and asking awesome questions. We will definitely be sharing a lot more information with you shortly regarding the specific auction timeline and all of that. There's so much coming, guys. I can't even tell you all. But thank you so much, and we'll catch up
Thanks,
with you
Jason.
guys. We'll catch up with you all soon, okay?
Thank you. Thanks,
Thanks.
McCarthy.
I guess.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day,
Bye.
guys. Peace out.
Peace
Yeah.
out.
Peace out.